On December 28, 1978, United Airlines Flight 173 prepared for its final approach into Portland, Oregon. It was a routine evening flight, carrying 181 passengers and 8 crew members. The aircraft, a DC-8, descended through the winter sky as the crew prepared for landing. Nothing suggested the disaster that was about to unfold. But as the landing gear descended, something felt wrong. The crew heard a loud thump, far louder than usual. A vibration followed. The landing gear indicator light, which was supposed to show the status of the gear, didn't illuminate properly. It wasn't clear whether the gear was locked. It might be safe, or it might collapse on touchdown. Captain Malburn McBroom, a veteran with over 27,000 hours in flight time, decided to enter a holding pattern. He wanted time to diagnose the malfunction. The crew extended the gear manually. They tried cycling the lights. They requested a flyby from the control tower to visually confirm the gear position. From the ground, things looked normal, but the captain wasn't convinced. While the captain focused on the gear problem, the clock was ticking, and more dangerously, so was the fuel. The DC-8 circled over Portland for the next hour. Inside the cockpit, the discussion kept returning to the landing gear, its condition, the noise, the light, but almost no one was truly tracking the fuel situation with urgency. The flight engineer made several comments about fuel levels dropping. The first officer also warned that the onboard fuel wouldn't last forever, but the warnings were subtle, too subtle, and were repeatedly overshadowed by the landing gear troubleshooting. Meanwhile, the passengers began noticing something was off. The flight kept circling. The cabin lights dimmed slightly as systems adjusted to lower power. Some passengers saw the city lights repeating below them, loop after loop. Inside the cockpit, the fuel gauges dropped to alarming levels, but they were still above zero. The crew believed they had time, just enough to finish troubleshooting and then attempt the landing. But fuel gauges don't fall linearly. They plummet. At 6:13 p.m., the first engine failed. Then another. The DC-8, once held aloft by 4 roaring engines, suddenly lost nearly half its power. The cockpit erupted in confusion. The crew still attempted to troubleshoot the gear, unwilling to abandon hope. Minutes later, a third engine died. The airplane was now flying on a single remaining engine. Its descent rate increased dramatically. With no time left, the captain finally declared an emergency and attempted to steer toward the airport. But it was too late. The final engine sputtered and failed. United Airlines Flight 173, now a powerless glider, descended into a dark suburban neighborhood. At 6:15 p.m., the aircraft struck trees, light poles, and finally the ground. The massive jet broke apart. 10 people lost their lives. Many more were injured. But incredibly, the majority survived the impact, thanks to the captain's attempt to guide the plane away from houses. The investigation uncovered the disturbing truth. The crash wasn't caused by mechanical failure, not by a landing gear collapse, not by an electrical malfunction, but by fuel exhaustion, a preventable mistake. The NTSB concluded that the captain became so fixated on the landing gear issue that he lost situational awareness. The crew recognized the dropping fuel level, but didn't assert themselves clearly enough. And the captain, absorbed in one task, never fully recalculated fuel endurance. This accident changed aviation forever. It led directly to the creation of CRM, Crew Resource Management, a new way of training pilots. No longer would cockpit hierarchy silence critical warnings. Crew members were taught to speak up. Captains were trained to listen. Today, CRM is standard worldwide, credited for saving countless lives. United 173 is remembered not only for its tragedy, but for how it reshaped the culture of aviation safety. The lessons learned that night ripple across every cockpit today, every flight, every crew, every landing. A single burned-out landing gear light led to an hour of uncertainty, which led to 10 lives lost and an entire industry transformed. United 173 stands as a reminder of what happens when communication fails and how much safer aviation becomes when it doesn't.